Fellow Stoic, they never wanted you to know this. Being too nice doesn't make people respect you. Here are 7 signs you need to toughen up. Imagine waking every morning with a sincere heart that yearns to do good, yet feeling an inexplicable sting when those same gestures of kindness are met with disrespect or manipulation. You've probably experienced the bitter irony of being taken advantage of simply because you refuse to say no. In a world where most people are quick to exploit vulnerability, it is not your fault that your kindness is seen as a weakness. It is a calculated move by those who thrive on controlling you. This video exposes a hidden truth behind why being too nice leaves you open to exploitation, and reveals the Stoic strategies that allow you to reclaim your power without sacrificing your integrity. Today, hidden truths are coming to light. Truths that challenge the very notion that excessive kindness is a virtue and instead show it to be a liability when not tempered with self-respect. If you resonate with this message, like this video and comment yes. Stay with us until the end, because the revelations ahead will force you to question everything you thought about being kind and remind you that respect is earned by standing firm. The problem with being too nice. Being kind has long been celebrated as a virtue, a quality that reflects the purest intentions of the human spirit. Yet for many of you, that very kindness has become a double-edged sword. Every day, you wake up with a sincere desire to help, to offer a listening ear and a warm heart, only to later discover that your openness is interpreted as an invitation for others to overstep boundaries and take advantage of your generosity. You might feel that your willingness to give, to accommodate, and to always be available is slowly eroding the respect you deserve. In those quiet moments of introspection, when doubt clouds your judgment and you wonder if your constant kindness is nothing more than a vulnerability, remember that you are not alone. This challenge is shared by countless others who have discovered that without clear boundaries, even the noblest of qualities can be twisted into tools for manipulation. The significance of this issue is profound, for it touches the very core of your identity and questions whether you truly value yourself enough to protect your inner strength. The emotional toll of being too nice is heavy and multifaceted. It's not merely about the fatigue that follows endless favors, but about the deep-seated pain that comes when you realize your kindness is misinterpreted as weakness. You recall moments when, despite your sincere efforts to help, the responses you received were less about gratitude and more about exploitation. Perhaps you remember a time when a friend or colleague repeatedly relied on your good nature, expecting you to drop everything without regard for your own needs. These experiences leave you feeling undervalued and, over time, they chip away at your self-esteem, making you question whether your generosity is truly a gift or a flaw that makes you an easy target. The cycle of over-accommodation can lead to emotional exhaustion and a pervasive sense of being trapped, as if you're caught in a loop where every kind act is met with silent demands and unspoken expectations. This recurring pattern is not only discouraging but also a significant obstacle on your journey towards self-respect and empowerment. Yet, there is a divine preparation hidden within this struggle, a deeper lesson that the ancient Stoics understood long before our time. The wisdom of Stoicism teaches that while generosity is indeed a noble trait, it must be balanced with the firmness required to protect your inner citadel. Consider the insights of Posidonius, a lesser-known Stoic philosopher, who argued that a person's character is measured not solely by their capacity for kindness, but by their wisdom in knowing when to withhold that kindness to preserve their own well-being. Posidonius reminded his followers that every act of unguarded generosity is, in effect, a silent contract that leaves you open to exploitation, as it signals to the world that your time, energy, and emotions are available for the taking. His teachings compel you to view each act of kindness not as an unconditional gift, but as something that must be tempered with discernment and self-respect. This divine orchestration is part of a larger plan, one that encourages you to build an inner strength that cannot be easily undermined by those who seek to control you. In this light, your struggle becomes not a personal failing but a necessary trial meant to refine your character and reveal the unyielding power that lies within you. As you begin to integrate the Stoic wisdom into your daily life, you start noticing tangible signs of transformation that are both subtle and profound. You may observe that situations which once left you feeling drained now prompt a quiet reflection before you extend your kindness, a moment of pause that allows you to assess whether your help is truly needed or merely expected. Opportunities that once slipped away in the blur of over-accommodation begin to align with your newfound sense of self-respect, as people gradually learn to value you for your strength as much as your compassion. Relationships shift, 2. As those who once took advantage of your unguarded nature retreat, making space for connections built on mutual respect and genuine care. This internal shift is like watching the first light of dawn break through a long, dark night. Each small victory, each moment when you choose to hold back and assert your boundaries, becomes a ray of hope that fortifies your inner resolve. The Stoic principles of self-discipline and measured generosity begin to work behind the scenes, guiding you toward a life where your kindness is a deliberate choice rather than an automatic response, and where your worth is defined by your own standard rather than the fleeting judgments of others. In time, this transformation empowers you to reclaim your power and rewrite the narrative that has long dictated your life. No longer do you have to allow the world to dictate your value by exploiting your natural disposition. Instead, you learn to stand firm and demand the respect that you inherently deserve. This is not about abandoning kindness altogether or becoming hardened and indifferent. It is about establishing a balance where compassion coexists with authority. Every decision you make to set boundaries, every time you decide that your time is too precious to be wasted on those who do not appreciate it, reinforces your inner strength and builds a legacy of self-respect. The world may continue to test you, but with each act of self-preservation, you assert that you are not an endless resource for others to drain. You cultivate an inner fortress that no one can breach, a sanctuary of dignity where your true worth is preserved and celebrated. The transformation is both internal and external, as your newfound balance begins to attract opportunities and relationships that honor your true value, leaving behind those who once sought to diminish you. As you stand at the threshold of this new reality, take a moment to reflect on the journey that has brought you here, a journey marked by challenges, lessons, and ultimately, profound growth. The struggle to balance kindness with self-respect is not a sign of weakness, but a call to arms that challenges you to rise above the limitations imposed by a world that would see you subdued. Every time you assert your boundaries and demand that your generosity is met with respect, you are reclaiming a part of your power that was once surrendered without a fight. This is your time to transform vulnerability into strength, to turn every challenge into an opportunity for personal sovereignty, and command the respect that you deserve simply by being true to yourself. Let this be a rallying cry, a declaration that you will no longer allow your kindness to be weaponized against you, that you will stand firm in the knowledge that your worth is inherent and unassailable. Comment vigilant if this resonates with you. Sign number 1 and number 2. You apologize too much and can't say no. You wake each day burdened by the lingering doubt that your every action must be justified, as if your inherent goodness is conditional on constant apologies. In the quiet moments before the world demands begin to intrude, you question whether your habit of saying sorry for things beyond your control is a sign of weakness or a necessary act of humility. You feel the sting of regret when your genuine nature is misinterpreted as a flaw, and you wonder if your tendency to acquiesce is why people continue to encroach upon your time and energy. This internal struggle is a silent battle fought by many who wear their kindness like a badge, only to find that it leaves them vulnerable to exploitation. It's not that your intentions are misguided. It's that the very act of over-apologizing has become a gateway for others to define your worth, leaving you to question whether your capacity to serve is the sole measure of your value. Rest assured, you are not alone in this experience. Countless souls share your pain, navigating the treacherous waters of excessive niceness in a world that often mistakes your compassion for compliance. The weight of this struggle is profound, for every unwarranted apology chips away at the reservoir of self-respect you so desperately need to safeguard. Imagine the moments when you find yourself apologizing not for a mistake you made, but simply for being present or for having an opinion that might ruffle a few feathers. These instances, though seemingly insignificant, accumulate into a pattern that reinforces a belief that you are somehow at fault for simply existing. You recall times at work when a minor oversight was met with an apology that was disproportionate to the error, or social situations where you preemptively express regret even before a conflict arises. This constant need to mend what isn't broken not only diminishes your inner strength, but also signals to others that your worth is tied to your ability to appease their expectations. The emotional toll is heavy, leaving you feeling perpetually drained and uncertain, as if every sorry is a surrender of a piece of your identity. It is a cycle that feeds into the broader narrative that you must always yield, no matter how unjust, in order to maintain harmony, a narrative that slowly erodes the foundation of your self-esteem. Yet, amid this struggle lies a deeper, almost divine preparation, a call to transform vulnerability into a source of unyielding strength. Stoic philosophy, with its timeless insights, offers a guiding light through this murky terrain of over-apologizing and compulsive agreement. beyond the familiar wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. Consider the teachings of the lesser-known Stoic thinker Musonius Rufus, who believed that true virtue lies not in the absence of mistakes, but in the courage to stand firm when faced with criticism. Musonius argued that every time you say sorry without cause, you inadvertently forfeit a part of your power, leaving you exposed to manipulation. His insights remind you that self-discipline is not a harsh denial of your compassionate nature, but a balanced approach that preserves your inner sovereignty. This struggle, painful as it may be, is part of a larger cosmic design meant to awaken you to the realization that your time and energy are treasures that must be guarded fiercely. In accepting this, you begin to understand that every unnecessary apology is not a reflection of humility, but a signal to the world that you have not yet claimed your right to self-respect. As you slowly integrate these Stoic principles into your life, you begin to notice tangible signs of transformation that signal a shift from vulnerability to empowerment. Perhaps you start by pausing before you automatically say sorry, giving yourself a moment to assess whether an apology is truly warranted. In time, you notice that relationships begin to change. Those who once exploited your willingness to agree without question start to respect the new boundaries you set. Opportunities you previously missed because you were too busy accommodating others now present themselves as you reclaim the power of your own time. There is a subtle, yet profound, change in the way you carry yourself. A quiet confidence replaces a habitual need for external validation. Like the slow unfurling of a new dawn, your transformation becomes apparent in the increased clarity of your thoughts and the resilience of your spirit. This newfound empowerment is not just an internal revolution. It manifests in every aspect of your life as you begin to assert your boundaries with calm determination. The Stoic teachings, silently at work behind the scenes, realign your path so that your actions are driven by self-worth rather than the need for approval, anchoring you in the truth that you are deserving of respect simply by being yourself. In the midst of this transformation, you start to witness the remarkable change in your external world mirroring your internal growth. The constant barrage of demands and the habitual need to say yes begin to wane, replaced by a more measured, assertive approach to life. Friends, colleagues, and even acquaintances begin to notice that you no longer offer your time and energy without discerning value. Instead, you choose to engage only in ways that honor your true priorities. With each instance of asserting yourself, be it declining an unreasonable request or simply holding your ground during a minor disagreement, you carve out a space of respect and dignity that was once taken for granted. This change is not immediate, but each step reinforces the idea that your worth is intrinsic and that you have the right to guard it jealously. It's as if a protective barrier is forming around you, built from the quiet strength of your newfound discipline and the wisdom of Stoic thought. Your interactions become less about placating others and more about genuine connection, rooted in mutual respect rather than an unbalanced exchange. This outward transformation serves as a powerful reminder that every time you choose to withhold an automatic apology or reflexive yes, you are actively reclaiming the power to define your own identity and destiny. At this critical juncture in your journey, the realization dawns that the art of refusal is not an act of selfishness but a declaration of self-worth. The relentless cycle of over-apologizing and unthinking agreement is gradually being replaced by a robust sense of confidence that empowers you to take control of your life. With every conscious decision to assert your boundaries, you send a resounding message to the world. You are not an endless reservoir of time and energy to be exploited. This newfound assertiveness is a victory over the forces that once manipulated your inherent kindness, transforming what was once a vulnerability into a formidable strength. The wisdom of Stoicism, which teaches that true freedom is found in mastering one's own mind, becomes your guiding light. It is this inner mastery that allows you to stand firm against external pressures, turning every moment of self-assertion into a step toward reclaiming the respect you deserve. Your journey toward empowerment is not marked by grand, sweeping changes overnight, but by the steady accumulation of small, deliberate acts of resistance that gradually reshape your identity and destiny. Comment set apart if this resonates with you. We have only begun to uncover the layers of how excessive niceness is weaponized against you. In the upcoming sections, we will reveal how your avoidance of conflict and fear of disappointing others further entraps you in a cycle of manipulation, as well as how ignoring red flag signals are opportunists that they can continue to take advantage. The Stoic strategies we share are designed to help you break these chains and reclaim the power that is rightfully yours. Before we move forward, please subscribe, share this video, and click the super thanks button to support our growing community of empowered Stoics who are ready to stand up for themselves. Sign number 3 and number 4. You avoid conflict and fear disappointing others. You wake each day with a quiet resignation that speaks to a deeper fear, a fear of confrontation and the overwhelming worry that if you assert yourself, you might disappoint those around you. In the midst of your daily interactions, you often find yourself sidestepping potential conflicts, opting for silence rather than risking the discomfort of a disagreement. This instinct to avoid conflict, to smooth over every potential rift with placating words and a constant readiness to appease, stems from a deep-seated worry that any form of dissent might lead to rejection or hurt feelings. You might recall moments when even the thought of disagreeing with a friend or colleague sent a shiver down your spine, compelling you to nod along in silence despite the mounting injustice of the situation. It is in these moments that you feel isolated, as if you are trapped by the very kindness that once defined you, now turned into a chain that restrains you from standing up for yourself. Rest assured that this struggle is not unique to you. Many have experienced the crippling burden of fearing conflict and disappointing others, and it is a challenge that deserves both attention and transformation. The emotional toll of consistently avoiding conflict is profound and far-reaching, manifesting as a constant undercurrent of anxiety that shadows your every interaction. When you allow your fear of causing discomfort to override your inner truth, you inadvertently relinquish the power to shape your own narrative. Picture a scenario where a close friend repeatedly makes insensitive remarks, and rather than voicing your hurt or setting boundaries, you simply smile and say nothing. Over time, the unspoken pain accumulates, leaving you feeling diminished and unworthy. This perpetual cycle of self-silencing creates an environment where your voice is lost and your needs remain unmet. The emotional burden of such experiences can leave you questioning your value, as you come to believe that maintaining peace is more important than asserting your rights. This internal conflict, where the desire to please overshadows the need to protect your own dignity, is not only draining but also fundamentally undermines your personal growth and spiritual journey towards self-respect. Yet, this struggle is not without its purpose in the grand tapestry of your life, as it is part of divine preparation meant to awaken you to the power of your own voice. The Stoic teachings remind us that avoiding conflict is not a virtue but a hindrance that robs you of your inherent strength. In the less popular yet insightful teachings of Antipater Tarsus, we learn that true character is revealed not by the absence of conflict but by the courage to face it head-on. Antipater argued that every challenge, every moment of discomfort, is an opportunity to forge resilience and reclaim your self-worth. His wisdom underscores the idea that when you let the fear of disappointing others dictate your actions, you allow external forces to shape your destiny, rather than using these moments as stepping stones of personal transformation. This perspective is not meant to provoke needless strife, but to highlight that the courage to engage in healthy conflict is a necessary condition for growth. It is through these confrontations, when handled with wisdom and care, that you learn to set boundaries and assert your value, thus transforming potential vulnerabilities into a source of empowerment. As you begin to embrace the idea that conflict can be a catalyst for growth rather than a threat, you will notice tangible signs of transformation in your life. The first subtle shift might be a moment of hesitation before you automatically agree with someone, giving you the space to reflect on whether your silence is truly necessary. You start to see that when you do speak up, even if it is just a small assertion of your perspective, you feel a surge of confidence that ripples through every aspect of your day. Relationships begin to evolve as you no longer allow others to take advantage of your reluctance to confront issues. Instead, they start to recognize and respect the boundaries you set. Work environments and personal interactions alike become more balanced, as your newfound assertiveness creates a dynamic where mutual respect replaces the old pattern of unchallenged approval seeking. This emerging strength is like a beacon that illuminates your path, guiding you toward opportunities that align with your true self, rather than those that merely exploit your kindness. As these changes accumulate, you find yourself more centered, more confident, and more capable of handling the challenges that come your way, each instance of standing up for yourself further solidifying the foundation of your inner resilience. Now, as you reflect on the strides you have made in reclaiming your voice, it is clear that every moment of asserting yourself is a victory over the forces that once held you back. You have begun to see that the strength to face conflict is not an inherent flaw in your kindness, but rather the very means by which you protect it and ensure it is met with genuine respect. Each time you overcome the urge to simply appease, you affirm your own value and disrupt the cycle of manipulation that has long defined your interactions. The transformation is palpable. Your relationships grow deeper, your decisions become more confident, and your inner peace is no longer marred by the constant anxiety of trying to please everyone. The Stoic principles that once seemed abstract now resonate as a living, breathing reality within you, guiding your actions and empowering you to live a life where respect and authenticity go hand in hand. This journey is a continuous evolution, a testament to your resilience and a clear demonstration that true strength lies in balancing kindness with the courage to stand firm. Comment resilient if this resonates with you. Sign number 5 and number 6. You overlook red flags and let others take advantage. There are times when you sense that something is off, those quiet, nagging hints that whisper warnings in the back of your mind. But you push them aside, believing that maintaining peace is more important than rocking the boat. You wake each day with an inherent desire to be kind and accommodating, yet deep down you know that ignoring these red flags has often led to painful betrayals and exploitation. You feel the sting of regret when you later realize that your trust was misplaced and that your innate generosity has been used against you. This recurring experience of letting others walk all over you is not your fault. Rather, it is a result of a pattern where your kind nature becomes a gateway for manipulation. Know that you are not alone in this struggle. Many who have a compassionate heart find themselves caught in a cycle where every subtle sign of mistreatment is dismissed in favor of keeping the harmony intact. The significance of this theme is profound, as it cuts to the core of how you value yourself and sets the stage for reclaiming your inner power. The emotional toll of overlooking red flags is immense and pervasive, often leaving you feeling isolated and drained. You may recall situations where you ignored a friend's dismissive comment or a partner's early signs of disrespect, choosing to believe that everything would eventually be okay. These instances, though seemingly minor at first, accumulate over time and erode your self-esteem. The hurt that comes from realizing you've been taken advantage of is not just a fleeting disappointment. It's a deep-seated pain that undermines your sense of self-worth. The struggle is further compounded by the internal conflict of wanting to preserve the image of a kind and understanding person, even when that image is exploited by those who see it as an open invitation. Whether it's in the workplace, in your personal relationships, or even in casual encounters, the habit of dismissing warning signs creates a vulnerability that is difficult to overcome. This emotional burden can make you question whether your natural inclination to see the best in people is a curse rather than a blessing, leaving you trapped in a cycle of regret and self-doubt. Amid this painful cycle, there is a divine preparation unfolding, a transformative process that calls you to awaken to the truth of your own worth and to guard your inner sanctuary with vigilance. The ancient Stoic tradition, with its timeless insights, offers a powerful antidote to this challenge. In particular, the lesser-known teachings of Diogenes of Babylon remind us that silence and measured responses are not signs of weakness, but rather formidable defenses against those who seek to exploit your vulnerability. Diogenes argued that by cultivating the art of restraining speech and action, you create a barrier that discourages manipulation and reinforces your boundaries. His teaching suggests that every time you ignore a red flag, you are inadvertently giving permission for further encroachment, allowing those who would take advantage of your benevolence to believe that your kindness is unconditional. This divine preparation is part of a greater plan to strip away the layers of self-doubt and to reveal the unyielding strength that lies within you. It is a call to embrace the wisdom of discernment and to recognize that protecting yourself is not an act of selfishness, but a necessary step toward true personal empowerment. As you begin to implement these Stoic principles into your daily life, you start noticing tangible signs of transformation that validate your journey toward reclaiming your power. Slowly, the subtle hints you once dismissed become clear signals guiding you to set boundaries and to question the motives behind the actions of those around you. You may find that opportunities once overshadowed by relentless exploitation now open up as you assert your needs and prioritize your well-being. Relationships begin to shift. Those who once thrived on your unguarded kindness start to respect the newfound limits you establish, and in turn, your interactions become more balanced and reciprocal. There is an emerging sense of clarity, a light breaking through the fog of past regrets, that empowers you to recognize and honor your worth. Your inner resilience strengthens, and with each instance where you choose to confront the warning signs rather than ignore them, you build an unassailable foundation of self-respect. This transformation is like a river carving its path through a rugged landscape, gradually eroding the barriers that once held you captive and creating a channel for more authentic, empowered existence. Every conscious decision to heed the red flags is a declaration that you will no longer allow others to dictate the terms of your life. In the midst of these changes, you begin to experience a profound shift in how you perceive and respond to potential exploitation. The constant need to placate or appease gives way to a calm certainty that you are worthy of respect and that your boundaries are inviolable. This inner metamorphosis is not merely an abstract concept, it manifests in your everyday interactions. Perhaps you start noticing that you no longer feel compelled to offer endless explanations for your actions, and that the quiet confidence you exude discourages those who once sought to manipulate your kindness. The environment around you begins to mirror this internal transformation. Colleagues, friends, and even strangers begin to treat you with the dignity you have reclaimed. The Stoic lessons of discernment and restraint serve as your compass, guiding you to navigate relationship with a balanced perspective that honors both compassion and self-respect. This empowering shift is akin to the steady rise of a resilient tree, its roots deep in the fertile soil of inner strength, standing tall despite the winds of external pressures. Each boundary you enforce, every red flag you acknowledge, reinforces your personal mission to live a life that is defined by your own terms and values, a life where respect is not asked for but inherently given. Now, as you stand on the precipice of this renewed understanding, it becomes clear that your journey towards self-empowerment is not an isolated struggle but a shared human experience. Every moment you resist the temptation to overlook warning signs is a victory over the forces that have long sought to diminish your light. The transformation you are experiencing is not merely about safeguarding your energy. It is a powerful reawakening of your true self, a reclamation of the intrinsic value that others have repeatedly tried to undermine. This process is both challenging and deeply liberating, as it redefines what it means to be truly kind, not as a passive state of endless giving, but as an active assertion of one's dignity and self-worth. By learning to recognize and act upon the red flags, you not only protect yourself from exploitation, but also pave the way for a more authentic existence, one where your kindness is balanced with the wisdom to stand up for yourself. Your path is illuminated by the timeless teachings of Stoic philosophy, which remind you that every act of self-preservation is an act of courage that contributes to the greater tapestry of your personal destiny. Comment strong if this resonates with you. Now, as we approach the final thematic section, prepare to learn how you can break free from this cycle once and for all. In the next segment, we will reveal the Stoic techniques that empower you to balance kindness with authority, ensuring that your benevolence never becomes a liability, but a cornerstone of genuine respect. The final insights will show you how to transform vulnerability into an unassailable strength that commands admiration and details exploitation. How to be kind and respected. True power lies not in the absence of kindness, but in the ability to be kind without sacrificing your dignity. Imagine waking each day with a sincere desire to extend compassion and help those around you, yet feeling a nagging doubt that your gentle nature is being mistaken for weakness. Many of you have felt that inner turmoil, the anxiety that every act of kindness might be used as a pretext for others to take advantage of you, leaving you with a fractured sense of self. It's a painful paradox where your warm heart and willingness to care seem to render you vulnerable to manipulation. You are not alone in this. Countless individuals share this experience, wondering if their kindness might be their undoing. The significance of this theme is immense, as it challenges a traditional notion that kindness is an unqualified virtue, urging you instead to recognize that respect must be earned by standing firm in your convictions. In every instance where you feel that your benevolence is undermined, remember that you possess an inner strength waiting to be awakened, a strength that redefines true kindness as one that comes with self-respect and clear boundaries. Comment kind if this resonates with you, and let's explore further how the Stoic way transforms vulnerability into an unyielding power. Yet, the struggle to balance genuine compassion with the need to protect your inner self is a formidable challenge that many of you face daily. When you find yourself constantly apologizing for your very nature or bending over backwards to please others, you may begin to feel that your self-worth is measured solely by your ability to save. This emotional burden is heavy. Each unnecessary apology, each moment spent sacrificing your needs, chips away at the core of your identity. Perhaps you recall instances where your efforts to help were met not with gratitude but with a subtle expectation that you should always be available, or where your refusal to accept undue demands led to feelings of guilt and isolation. Such experiences leave you wondering if there's a way to remain true to your compassionate self without allowing your kindness to be exploited. The constant pressure to please can create a cycle of self-doubt and regret, making it seem as if your empathy is not a gift but a liability. This is a struggle that goes to the very heart of your being, challenging you to redefine what it means to be truly kind while preserving your dignity. In the end, remember that kindness should never come at the cost of your dignity. The 7 signs we've uncovered today reveal that excessive niceness can be exploited by those who see your generosity as a gateway to control, but they also show you the path to reclaim your power through Stoic wisdom. Embrace the balance between compassion and firmness, and let your inner strength be the measure by which you command respect. Every boundary you set is a testament to your self-worth and an act of defiance against a world that would see you diminished. Thank you for watching this journey into the hidden truths of Stoic philosophy. If you are ready to stand up for yourself, to command the respect that you deserve, subscribe, share, like, and comment I am Stoic.